A compelling new report from the CNA Military Advisory Board, The Role of Water Stress in Instability and Conflict, warns that lack of adequate fresh water can empower violent extremist organizations and place stable governments at risk. Across much of northern and sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East, South America and other hot spots around the world, lack of water will likely play a vital role in causing increased conflicts and violence. A recent panel discussion at the Wilson Center focused on the challenges of water stress and the findings in the report, which examines the role water plays not only in diplomacy, violence and conflict, but also how water can be used as a tool of coercion across the spectrum of conflict. The most striking finding is that water stress can be exploited by non-state actors, violent extremist organizations, insurgents and
Growing
terrorists
chaos
to gain
in Libya
power,
or Iraq
recruit
could
followers
raise
and
energy
advance hostile
prices
goals.
and hit
In fact, during recent conflicts in Yemen, Libya and Syria, made worse by violent extremists, water infrastructure was purposefully damaged in order to exacerbate water stress issues in those regions.
Dive into later on is, and there's a lot of interest in kind of violent extremist organizations and the role of water stress in the types of conflicts where we see these groups operating today. So, we're thinking of Syria, we're thinking of Yemen, we're thinking of Libya. And, there is a real push to find the connection between water stress and VEOs. And really what we found is that, in the world of conflict analyses and studies, having looked at these types of organizations for a long time, we know that one thing they are very good at doing is exploiting local conditions, be they political, economic, social, to their advantage. And so we weren't surprised to find that when you have the conditions of water stress present, it creates the types of vulnerabilities that these organizations can then exploit to their advantage.
CNA researchers anticipate 3 national security challenges if, as predicted, water stress continues to escalate. Civil unrest and localized violence will increase, could lead to placing fragile governments at risk. Disenfranchised populations will look to non-traditional governing entities for solutions, which could include violent extremist organizations. Water will become a more valuable tool in operational strategy for fighting forces as well as a larger bargaining chip in diplomatic negotiations. Tensions between neighbors sharing river basins will increase, and finding diplomatic solutions will become more challenging.
Diplomacy and development have always been key to the arguments that we made, not just to the whole of government, but also specifically to the Defense Department. The Defense Department must advocate for the partnerships that are so important around the world with the State Department, with USAID in particular. And so the Defense Department can have a prayer of dealing less with